All right. It says that we are live on Facebook, but you guys, you know me. Even if my computer says we are live, let me please double check. It wouldn't be me if I wouldn't do that. And
Okay.
here we go. Here we go. We are live. Hi guys, and welcome. And you are. This is the newest episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show, and I have the great honor and pleasure to have very special guest with me today. And I would love to introduce to you Ivy Barreto. Thank you so much, Ivy, for joining me today.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Today we have a very, very interesting topic. I am really curious what Ivy got to say, but as you know me, I would love first to introduce Ivy because she is new in our group, and I would love you guys to know her better. So if you allow me, then I'm going to share a couple of things about Ivy before we are diving into our topic. Ivy is a developer. She's a certified international coach, emotional geographer, speaker, and strategist consultant. She's a community-driven individual who believes that your life is like building a dream home. That's beautiful. A member of Association of Black Coaches and founder of Hacks Consultancy, a relationship healing and business accountability hub, with the mission to empower women and communities through coaching and healing pain for transformational empowerment. She is mostly known as the business relationship architect. Oh, I love how this sounds because she brings skills of 15 years experience from the architectural industry to corporate coaching and mentoring arena. She assists individuals and businesses to unlock hidden potential and maximizing performance by believing, encouraging, developing, and leveraging relationships with creative-based measures, enabling her clients with the power to visualize and recreate the current space within self and habitat, and how to move through the world with eagle eye analogy. Ivy only helps individuals who are ready to transit from broken to affluent, converting their emotional trauma faced from the past, leveraging strengths into the present for a better and profitable future by rebranding the I within with Hugs methodology. She unlocks their code for a purpose because she believes that happiness is seeing them smile again. And that's beautiful. And this brings me a lot of questions that I would love to ask you, Ivy. You
Okay.
can contact Ivy on her website. I'm going to let you know her website as well by the end of our conversation, and you are going to have all the Ivy details in the description of this live. So welcome, Ivy, again. And I would love, my very, very first question to you would be, I'm really curious what to ask gonna be, who is Ivy?
Okay. I think
The
you have
real
covered.
Ivy, okay?
I think you have covered a lot. The real Ivy. Okay. Ivy is a mother. It's a mother, a partner. I'm a family-driven individual. I like family a lot, and I work a lot with communities. That's what I love doing. Embracing my community, and I love doing a lot of things in that aspect. And an Ivy that you see now is the new Ivy, the reinvented Ivy, the more improved Ivy. And that is it. And that is me in a nutshell.
Perfect. Oh, Ivy, and you use an I after Ivy. You say Ivy.i. Why is that?
Ivy because it's the new improved me. Because before I was just Ivy, but it was essential for me in my journey to know who I was. So when I embarked in that journey, I decided to take that I, because I was speaking from the I from within, and bringing that Ivy that was hidden, bringing it outside so the world can see. And as well, that I helped me to heal. And that's why I emphasize a lot in the I. And I put it as a small letter, because my previous name, that is my father's name, was with I. And so I didn't want to, confuse that. So I prefer put it in minuscule.
Oh, I love the new Ivy. I admire the new Ivy and I admire your courage really. And I would love to ask you, you are architect for profession originally. The
Yes, I
new
am.
Ivy is a coach and a mentor and a lot of other things. How come that you became from an architect to coach now women and communities? It's a huge transition. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know architecture is very structured, and that's what shaped me to who I am. But the industry had a lot to do with it. I got a burnout from the industry, and not only I had a burnout, I had depression. I was somebody that was clinically depressed for 20 years. So coming out of my depression, I went through a lot of transition with all sorts of practitioners. But I find that I needed something from within that they weren't capturing. And that's what embarked me in the journey of coaching. So I needed to understand, how they operate, how the mind operates, how the body operates, the soul operates, and how the questions need to be asked to myself so I can be able to come out of my ordeal. And being somebody that came from the artistic world, we process things very differently. And sometimes when we're dealing with practitioners, they don't engage in that aspect. So you can be mixed diagnosed, as I was. So it can be dangerous in a way. So that's what led me to coaching. So when I was in coaching, I was self-healing. And a lot of my colleagues was aiding me in that journey. And in the end of the day, I ended up healing myself. And that happened in the midst of the pandemic, because that's when the world tuned off. And that allowed me to come out to be awakened from my ordeal.
Wow. But that's beautiful because you see, what I'm seeing is that most of us coaches, healers started the journey actually because we are trying to heal ourselves first. I mean, yeah, doctors, yeah, psychologists, whatever. But then in the end, you feel like, yeah, they are doing their job, but it's not working for me. So let's do it myself, kind of thing. And then you start to work on yourself, and then you realize, I'm an amazing person. Come on, we have to bring
Exactly.
that person out. And I love the new Ivy, what you brought out. I mean, I'm sure. How was your journey? Was it easy? The transition, was it difficult?
It was challenging. I would say it was
Challenging.
challenging.
Yes,
Yeah, very
challenging.
challenging because I was trying to understand. At the same time, I was studying myself. I was studying as well to pass through my certifications, and as well not mistaking it as well with the emotions that I was feeling while I was doing all this process. So it was very, very tricky in a way, and they're trying to coach other people in the process because that's what we have to do. So tuning off all these emotions was very challenging, as I can say.
Yeah, it can be really challenging. Hi guys, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions during our conversation, feel free to put them in the comments. If you are too shy to put your questions in the comments, then you can reach out to Ivy or me after the live, and we are trying to answer as good as we can to the level as we are right now. We are always growing. I've learned, Ivy, myself, that every coach needs a coach. Every healer needs a healer because we are doing a lot of work. Besides of healing and working ourselves, we are helping others, and that's a lot of, and that's beautiful. So I'm really, really happy that you choose this path. I'm sorry that you had to go through burnout, but my philosophy is like this: if you do not experience the darkness, if you are not going through hell, then you do not see the light. I
Exactly.
mean, pain, it might sound a little bit off, but really, pain is good. It's good in a sense that it shows, okay, here are my boundaries. That's it and no more. This is what I can bear, and I have to change. But pain is good because it shows you, okay, slow down, change. And because, "Oh, no, I don't want to feel pain. I'm not trying that. I don't want to do that." But then nobody else is going to do for you. And without pain, I mean, My sensei he's always telling me, Krisztina, there's no gain without pain. I was like, oh, but I'm doing it anyways. Right?
It's the antidote. It's like a friend. Pain is like our friend. It's the antidote for happiness.
Exactly.
So we as women, when you have delivered a child in the delivery room, that pain, there is pain, but after the pain, there's joy.
Exactly. Thank you, Ivy. That's what I'm saying. Come on. It's painful. I know it's painful, and I can hug you, and I can be your greatest cheerleader. But this is something what you have to go through yourself. I can't do that for you because we as coaches, all we can do is we give you the tools, the techniques, we share our experiences, but the work is actually the client's work. Who do you like to work with? Who are your clients now, Ivy?
I work with women that are trying in their 30s, transiting to their 40s. Who wants to really transit? I don't want to waste time with people that really they're not ready to heal.
I
Because
don't know.
I'm not there.
I'm not there. I don't
Yes,
want to
because
try. I know.
they're not ready to receive your information. They're still in the pity mode. But once they're out from the pity mode, you can begin to do real work. That's why I'm a accountability coach. Well, that's what I do. I coach in the area of business and in the area of relationship with self, with the environment, with your everywhere you are. So we need to begin to heal that way. But if you're not ready, or they are not ready, that is waste of their time, my time, and their resources. And I'm like somebody, I don't like to take resources that I don't feel like I deserve to take, because I like them to have real results so they can be able to refer and bring other people.
Thank you very much that you said that. Familiar. Ivy, can you do it for free? Krisztina, can you do it for free? Do you have a job? Yes. Do you work for free? No. Well, why
Exactly.
should I do it for free?
Exactly.
So if you are paying for something, then yes, be ready. And I love what you were saying about the women 40 plus, because what I'm seeing is that 35, 40 is the age when actually the turning point,
The
the
transition.
transition happens, the shift happens. They call it in English, oh my God, how they call it, midlife crisis. That's
Exactly.
not a midlife crisis. That's awakening. Come on, people. That's not midlife crisis. That's awakening. That's the moment when you say, okay, I just kind of wasted 40 years of my life on feeling guilty, pleasing others, feeling ashamed, playing the victim. Oh, it's so comfortable, so familiar. But
Exactly.
now that I'm in my 40s, what should I do with my life? Okay. And this is the time when actually you are ready. And then you take on the information what the coach gives you. And yeah, it's important. Your coaching is called hugs coaching. Why do you call it hugs? I
It's
love it. I
it's
love it, by the way.
it's a subject very close to heart, because that was part of my healing process, and it had to do with my detachment from reality, and my reality was my children. Um, but that's going to come up down the line in the book. I'm not going to expatiate on that.
Yeah, but I
But
spoiled that. I want to know about that
yeah,
one.
yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but let me continue with the question that you said. So the healing is because I couldn't embrace my children. So the way of it helped me to start embracing my children. So that's why the methodology of hugs is healing, uniting with self, and growth, the growth and the successful aspect of it in the process. So that's the hugs methodology.
Wow. That's really powerful. I mean, hugs in general are really, really powerful. And I remember myself a couple of years ago, if dare to say even now, when I I wouldn't say hate because that's a really harsh and strong word, but I didn't really like to be hugged.
Mhm.
Oh, don't
Yes.
enter in my energy.
Yes.
I don't want to do that. Okay. Now, after this healing process and the journey, I come to the point where I am able to allow some people to hug me, which is a big step for me. I mean, I'm
Yes.
so proud of myself. I yeah, really. So it's hugs are really, really, really powerful, and I really love that you call that hug floating.
Thank you. No, because as an African, and upbringing, we don't hug our children as much. So we have different ways of hugging our children. But in different cultures, you need to embrace. We don't embrace as much. And that was a very important aspect for me to understand the why that was happening,
Mm.
the why of that detachment. That was part of it.
I would love to apologize for the noise what you are hearing in the background, but there's some works going on in my house right now, and there is no way how I can shut it down. Okay, so
That's all right.
bear with me. I do apologize for that. I would love to ask you, Ivy, what kind of tools do you use in your practice?
Okay. I use unconventional tools. I would like to think about it
What does that
unconventional.
mean?
Oh, God, no, things that are not as normal. I like placing people in different scenarios because I want still to merge my architectural into the practice. That's why I'm specializing in spaces. For my coaching, I specialize in spaces because it's necessary for people to understand their environment and why their environment, impacts their lifestyle. I use a lot of art. I would call it art therapy. Because art helps to heal and helps people to elicit emotions that they're not ready yet to elicit. So you can be able to extract it and manage it for them so they can be able to utilize it. So I use a lot of art in my work. I use a lot of monologue because it's good for us to be able to
Express.
talk, express ourselves
Yeah.
without nobody interrupting. So that I do a lot of that. I do a lot of as well, they call it emotional mapping. I do that a lot. That is good to go into a journey so you can be able to tell your journey through storytelling. So I do a lot of that as well. I do as well in terms of I use space planning because from the architectural field you need to be able to do space planning because I work as well with women that have been through abuse, the, rape cases,
Traumas, yeah.
traumas, different kind of traumas. So understanding the environments before they can begin to, being coachable, we need to really to understand that and how they feel. So those are the kind of tools I use. Yeah, and the wheel of life, as well. So there's a lot.
I really love the Wheel of Life. It's a really, really old, traditional tool, but it's really, if done properly, with this, I wouldn't say supervision, but when your client or anyone who's doing the Wheel of Life, it's honest with themselves, then the Wheel of Life, it's really, really, really helpful. And what I'm liking what you are saying is that you are doing art therapy. Okay, art can take many shapes and forms. What exactly, like painting or sculpturing? What are you doing, if you don't
I
mind?
do a lot of the painting, abstracting, when you're dealing with couples that they need to regain their self.
Mhm.
So they need to paint as well themselves in an intimate way. So that's the kind of exercises I do. I do a lot of neurographic arts because you can be able to extract as well those elements from people indirectly, because sometimes people don't want to tell you, but indirectly, they will actually will tell you in the drawings, and then you can see their state of mind through those drawings.
Absolutely, I know. And what exactly? What do you mean when you say emotional mapping? What is it, emotional mapping?
Emotional mapping, I've been there a long time, at least 5 years. We have been there, and I'm a member of the organization as well that is called EME. So as a geographer, I'm a geographer of emotions myself. So they utilize the tool to be able to leverage strengths and weaknesses. You can utilize it in workplaces. You can utilize it in any kind of practice once you can infuse it into yours. And I myself personally, I'm infusing it into my own practice as an architect. I'm
Mhm.
working in spaces. So it's where you elicit, map, manage your emotions. That's the definition. So when you can be able to get that, and then you can be able to see the storytelling. I myself as well, I utilize it in terms of conflict navigation, because when I'm dealing with the people in the construction site, use that conflict navigation for colleagues to be able to know how to deal with one another. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's interesting, and that's again a really, really powerful tool. Our conversation, our title, actually, the title of this conversation is Decluttering Your Domain. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? So I'm going to ask you, what does it mean to declutter? You mean like cleaning around you, your environment, or cleaning body, mind, and soul, or all together?
All together.
All together.
All together.
How do you do that? How do you start? I mean, it's a mess. Let's say you have a client, everything is a mess. The environment is a mess, relationship a mess, him or her inside is a mess. Because let's face it, we are a mess at one point. How do we declutter? How do we at least start? What's the starting point?
Okay, because when I was dealing with my ordeal, I was somebody always that liked to tidy my house. So tidying my house.
You were the type who to have always clean.
Yes, that kind of control. You need to have that control. Everything has to be clean. The children have to be clean. Everything, it comes out into.
Don't touch. I know.
Everything has to be clean, but your own office is not clean, because the office is a construction site. You deal with a lot of materials. It's not clean, so there was a detachment from the two things. Yeah, but explaining that aspect. In our environment, it's always good to declutter the environment we live, because it helps to improve the way we think, the way we, in terms of our health, the way we operate, navigate through our home and outside. And if we can be able to declutter, even when people die, or sometimes when people fight, you need to take things off. Even when the relationship breaks off, you need to have the ability to take off those elements of distraction, or even when people pass on, utilize those objects and make it your own, so it doesn't turn out into hoarding mode, that you're in the hoarding mode. So this is the kind of thing that is good to declutter from your environment, because it helps you with productivity.
Wow, I completely agree with that, Ivy. Thank you for saying that, because the decluttering part actually is one of the hardest part of the healing journey, because we are holding on to things, objects, relationships, feelings, emotions that are not serving you anymore. But they are so familiar that you do not want to let them go.
Exactly.
And decluttering, let's say, very simple, the environment. I used to keep clothes, for example. I never wear them, but okay, maybe I'm gonna for years. Okay, and I'm not throwing. I'm just maybe next time I'm gonna wear it, right? And then it occurred to Krisztina, what are you doing? Because like this, you do not give space to you. And one day I just opened my drawer and everything on the floor. And I'm like, when was the last time when you wear that? 2 years ago. Out. My heart was so hard, but it's so beautiful. Have you wear it? No. And this is what's really, really hard. Okay, with clothes and things around us might be a little bit easier. But we have to do the same thing with relationships, with emotions, with beliefs that we are holding in, and it's they are not serving us anymore. They are only limiting us, fears. And I love that you are doing this thing with your clients, the decluttering, because it is a really, really, really important step, even when they start. Because I realize that when you start, bring out the old, and you become lighter and lighter, and then the new, have space to come in, and that's different, that's brighter. Oh my God, that changes everything. So I really, really love like the decluttering thing, what you are doing. But I think on your journey as well, you've done the same, the most probably. Every one of us, I think, when we started, we more or less in the beginning of the journey, that's the first thing what we do, environment, relationships, take them step by step. Yeah, with relationships might be a little bit harder sometimes because it means that you have to leave people behind.
Yes.
But again, here I say, okay, people are coming in our lives, I'm sorry, with a reason. Either to teach us a lesson, either to learn a lesson from us, right?
Mhm.
And when that's finished, our job is finished.
Exactly.
Let it go. Let it go because someone new is going to come, all right?
Definitely. And there's one aspect that you talked about, that is the aspect of the clothes.
Mhm.
When you were removing your clothes, putting it away, you were recycling, you could actually get money from it. So you were hoarding money and you're complaining about money.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. You have
So,
so beautiful. Thank you. And a lot of things around us, we are just, accumulate. Yeah, maybe then we're going to use that sometime, but that sometime will never come actually because we are just putting it there. There's going to be sometime. And as you said, we are sitting in a ton of money and we feel like shit because we do not have money. That's beautiful. I love that. I love this idea actually. So guys, thank you for watching. Please put your comments if you have. If you're too shy, don't. Just reach out to us. Can you tell us some tips, for those who said, nah, I don't want to throw this stuff away. How to declutter your domain when you are so attached to it?
oh, how?
Mm.
It's just you having the
Maybe
mind
just
frame.
just give me some tips. Some tips how to declutter your domain, your environment, your mind, your whatever.
Because it's necessary for you to, because you decluttering, you have more time on your hands. It help you with your health. You have as well more space for you to utilize with yourself, for the space, the space for you to do your meditation, do your journaling. So it is necessary for you to take all those things out from your environment, put it in the right spaces. There's something therapeutic when you are decluttering, or even when not even decluttering, but when you're tidying up.
Yeah.
Because, for example, myself, when I was tidying up before, I used to find myself in a tidying up in a mode of anger.
Oh, really?
Yes, because a lot of us tidy because we just want to get rid of everything. But there's a way that you can tidy and talk with your objects. That is part of the monologue. You talk with your object, you take care of it. Like if you are dating your object, like if you're appreciating what that object is bringing into your life. For example, a plate. A plate is a plate, but the plate serves for you to take your dinner, your food, place your food there, make it look pretty. So you appreciating that, you're talking life into the object, for example. And when you practice those kind of um, practice, it's like it's like affirmation kind of stuff. Thanking, being grateful
Being
for
grateful.
all the elements that you have in the house. So that means
Exactly.
like when you're practicing that, and even the positioning of things in your house. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you are familiar with the feng shui.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, even the positioning. Like for example, something simple as a bed. The way the bed is placed in the middle of the room, but that doesn't work for everybody. Because for me, I don't like positioning my bed in the middle of the room, even though the feng shui we say that. So that's why it's necessary to listen to yourself as well when you're doing your research. I like to place mine nearer to the wall because I like to feel protected.
Protected, safe, yeah.
In a way, subconsciously. So this is the kind of thing that is good for you to talk with your environment, see things through, reduce the load in your environment. So when you reduce those things, you see that you can breathe in your environment. And when you can breathe, it does a lot of things from within. Your soul feels more free. You are free from that load that it looks like it's too much inside the house, bringing you down. At least now it can make your mood go up because of the environment is much more free, clear, and even the colors that's in your house. You need to change those kind of things to boost your, boost yourself from the within. And it makes you more productive in all aspects. I'm more creative in my own part. It will make me more creative because I come from the creative field. So these are small little things because it helps your health as well and helps your resources as well. And if you can get through that, talk to a counselor or coach, because there's nothing like having a coach if you feel like a counselor is too deep. So start with the coach. They will ask you the questions. Then you work together, taking elements, as you said, one element at a time with the wheel of life. You'll be reducing in all areas of your life. By the time you know it, you're going to be extremely productive, and you will find yourself.
I love Ivy. I love all what you're saying. I love how you said talking to the plate and to the object because, and actually you said it because it reminds me of gratitude. The problem, what I'm seeing is that we forgot to be grateful for little things because we are so used with things around us that we take everything for granted. And I'm really, really loving what you were saying about being grateful, being thankful for what you already have and passing on to others or what you do not need anymore, because it might find a new a person who can be grateful for that, right? So I really, really love that. I love what you said about colors, bright colors, and around your working area, around your bedroom. I mean, and light spaces again. It gives you the sense of expansion. True. I honestly, me personally, I do not really like anymore. Really crowded rooms. I used to live in a lot of things. Everything possible. You couldn't move. And then you just can't breathe because so many things in there, right? But when you start to clean it up a little bit, make a little bit more space, using the space what you were using, then you also feel a little bit more lighter and lighter and lighter, and you actually start to reconnect with who you are and rediscover who you are. I'm not saying you fixing yourself because you are not broken. You don't have to fix yourself. Nobody have to be fixed. You just have to reconnect again with who you really are, and finding who you are. That's the hardest part again.
Yes, because as you were explaining very well, if you see two dynamics, for example, it can be two different worlds. For example, a homeless person is living in a space, and an incarcerated person, somebody that is in prison, is in another space. But they're both appreciating that space that they are living, even coming from different aspects. So this is my own findings when I look at it from outside. Us that have homes, why are we not appreciating a roof? And we look so much stressed with a roof than people that don't have a roof, for example, a homeless person.
Okay. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you. Because that's the reason. That's what I was saying, that people take things for granted. I have a cozy room, I have roof, I have warm water, I have internet, and then I'm complaining, oh, my life is so shitty. No, it's not. It's just, shift your mindset. Look at it from another point of view, really. I would love to ask you before we move on that I've heard you just said a little bit earlier something about your book.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really curious about that.
Yes, I'm writing a book. It's quite a journey.
Wow. It's about your journey. It's coming up soon, or?
Yes, it's coming out soon enough, maybe in 2 months' time. Yeah, it's a journey of self, and how the different aspects of being a woman
Mhm.
can help or aid other women for them to understand that they are not broken, as you said, but it's for them to utilize whatever happened to them to their advantage and profit from it and use it as a learning tool.
Wow, I think your book is going to be a really, really interesting one because what you are saying is that we have a lot of resources actually what we can use, but we it's in front of our eyes, but we cannot see them. So I'm really, really looking forward to read your book when you launch it, and I really, really, really would love to have a copy as well. I hope I will get one. And
Definitely,
I
you'll
would
be
love to
coming.
ask you, do you have any workshops coming up soon where people can, go to your workshops? And of course, workshop is different than our conversation because you're gonna go deeper and oh my God, I love those things where we go deeper and then I see, like the big eyes and it's beautiful.
No, no, the workshops are coming in the summertime. I think that's the good time for it to come because summertime, the women, they can be able to place their kids in summer camps as well. And they
Mhm.
can be able to work in themselves as well, people that are going to vacationing. So in vacationing as well, people can be able to do those exercises intentionally. So it'll be coming out in the summertime. So it'll be for women, men, teenagers, because I'm involved with teenagers, so they can be able to reconnect with themselves and with the environment that they're in and with their relationships that they're creating going forward. So
Mhm.
I want to address it in a very uh, unconventional way. And that's why I'm using the art therapy so they can be able to bring out those inner stories that they have within, bring it out and leverage it for their advantage going forward in whatever they are doing, their relationship with their parents or
Mhm.
relationship with the partners that are being separated, for them to see strength in what they have been through. And then as well for partners as well that they have been in domestic violence, for example, with ladies, for them to see that they can come out of it and
Mhm.
there's ways of coming out of it and there's ways of going forward. So these are the small little aspects of the workshop. So it's for everybody. So, but it's in different categories. Yes.
That sounds beautiful and awesome. And I love what you said because I'm saying like old ways want to open new doors and, old ways of thinking, this needs to change. And I think your workshops are really, really a good place for people who would love to change and they are willing to change, where to start and you can help them, really to go deep and do the work because, you know, self, every healing is self-healing, let's face it. Because that's the truth. And if someone is willing, um, let's tell you something. I thought in the beginning that I can do it all by myself. Oh, I'm Krisztina. I don't need any help. I don't need anyone. I can do everything on my own. A lot of eyes. I can do. That's the old eye. I'm using your eye now. The new eye said, okay, I could, but I won't because I'm going to. Again, burn out, be anxious, be stressed, be this and that, and I want to go there. So I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to ask help. And it took a lot of courage in the beginning. I would not even courage to put the pride aside and ask help. But then when I realized that actually asking help is not such a bad thing, I was like, okay, you ask more and more because help is there. It's always there. The doors are always open. All we need to do is to walk with eyes really open. I mean, not just to
Yes.
look really, but to see. And help is always there. So I really, really love that you are working actually with clients who are willing to invest time, energy, and of course money in their healing and in their development because it's only for us our benefit. I
Of
love,
course.
I love that.
Of course, Christina, because we have to consider this, not thinking about it, oh, I don't have money. Because if you really want to go to a night, for example, you want to go to a nightclub, you have money to go to a nightclub.
Exactly.
Why won't you invest in something that you can be able to profit from it? Because you're investing in yourself. We can be able to create businesses, because that's what is part of what I do as well. You know, in terms of vision boarding, you bring your issues. We put it in a vision board, and we dissect it, and we got to the root of the cause, and then create your business from in by default, or a side hustle. So,
no, that's beautiful. I mean,
and for less of a money, that you can go to nightclub or in that time, and you spend that money and it doesn't return.
I love that. I always say that the most valuable asset, what you have, it's you. So invest in yourself, and that goes with what I do. I mean, I'm sure you know that I do a lot of self-love and a lot of self-worth. And everything, that's the basic, that's the starting point. Love yourself enough and respect yourself enough to to give yourself first, you know? Because
Definitely.
I mean, I I know I think that like, nah, that's selfish. I feel guilty. No, 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 I'm not gonna do that. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's me who I'm living with my whole life. It's me who, I mean, I look in the mirror, I see nobody else, just me. Come on, I'm loving that person who's looking now. I wasn't like that. But we all have our journey, we all have our past, really. And yes, the most valuable asset what we can have, or what we have in this lifetime, at least, is ourselves. So if you want to invest in something or someone, let's say that invest in yourself. Because if you invest in yourself, you can build up businesses. For example, like you invested in yourself and you are now building up a coaching business, and a nice one. Other healers, coaches, all of us, we invested in ourselves first. And then when you are on one point, then you are able to help others. And I mean, that's a cycle, a circle. It's beautiful. I really, okay, I'm aware of the time. I don't really like to say, yeah, Ivy, can you give some advice? But I would love to ask you at least, is it any message what you would love to share with our audience today, or any thoughts, what you think is important and we do not cover today in our conversation? Would you mind sharing that?
In terms of decluttering your environment.
Mhm. About decluttering, or actually whatever you want about decluttering, because there was our topic. But if you feel your instinct said that you would love to share something else, please feel free to do so.
I would say two things. I think two things. I will give one of the tips we have to do with the decluttering. Um, there's spaces in our house that when we declutter, for example, the bathroom, for example, if your bathroom is clean though, it's necessary for you to lie down, practice this exercise in lying down in the bathroom, in the floor bathroom, and you need to feel the floor vibration. When you feel that vibration, then you know if you are in a good state of mind, or you're not in a good state of mind. With the beating, with your heart rate beating. And that is part of you. If you can be able to do that every morning or every evening, that is the beginning of the healing, because you can be able to look at the ceiling directly. If there's no obstruction, then you can see that is the beginning of you starting to heal, because you need to face your deal or whatever you are dealing with. And in a place that you feel comfortable in your house, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the toilet. But once I love my toilet. But once you can be in a space that you can feel the flow with the flow, you need to feel it. You know? And in terms of outside our topic, it's good for us to smile more to one another, because we don't know what other people are, the ordeal people are going through, even indoors or outdoors. So the importance of a smile, it can go a long way for somebody that you don't know. And we need to practice this. Is something that it doesn't cost us anything, even a smile. But once it's meaningful, that is my message.
True. And thank you so much for saying that, Ivy, because sharing that, because really a smile can change someone's day or maybe even someone's life. Just a tiny smile. And as you said, it doesn't really cost anything. It doesn't cost anything. Thank you so much, Ivy. You guys, if you would love to reach out to Ivy, you can find her on Facebook and by visiting her website, huxconsultancy.com. And I'm absolutely sure that you can find a lot of really useful tools over there. Ivy, she's a great coach, so reach out to her. I will put all her details. We are going to put all your details in the description so that people can reach out to you. I would love to thank you very much, guys, for being with us today. And thank you very much, Ivy, for being here and sharing your wisdom with our audience today. I'm going to see you next week for another episode of The Truth Runners. But until then, I'm sending you lots of love and light, guys, as always. Bye for now.